Hello, welcome to tea time. Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome to tea time.
What have you got today, dear?
I am drinking immunity tea, which we'll talk about why later. But that's what I'm drinking. Anyway, we've talked about this tea before, but it's great. It's got some good some mushrooms in it. It's got moringa. It's got chicory root. So yeah, some good stuff to help with your immune system. What are you drinking today?
I'm having Crimson Maple. I think I featured this about a month ago. I have had it on there. So the company is Wild at Heart, which is like an Ontario. It is an Ontario company. And all the ingredients are wild crafted Canadian herbs, organic in that matter. And they are pine needles, sweetgrass, sage, Ceylon, black tea, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, purple corn flour, organic maple syrup. Good old maple syrup from Canada.
Nice.
Oh, and thinking of that, we're into February, so that means probably later this month, with the right kind of weather, we could be looking at maple syrup season starting for some of those folks who have operations. So best of luck to them. Cheers to a good maple syrup run this year.
We go through a lot of maple syrup because we obviously,
because our children.
Well, no, but okay, so if we're not having maple syrup, then usually people get the plastic bottle, fake syrup. So it's not maple syrup, but it tastes like maple syrup. So you can imagine what's in there is probably corn syrup. It's probably fructose. It's probably artificial flavor, artificial color. So, instead of having that, let's just go to the real thing. And that is, I know it's an added expense, but also I will go to just down the road and get maple syrup from our neighbors. So
yeah, we support Mark there. Yeah. So,
and we've supported, anyway, lots. We won't say names because I gotta forget them. Okay. Mallory and Peter, who have Rose Opal Farm.
Right.
And so we'll give a shout out to them.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish that thought.
And so we'll give a shout out to them, Rose Opal Farm. And then the other one is
Mark.
Salmon
Sugar Bush, is it not?
Salmon River Sugar Bush, I think.
Salmon River Sugar Bush.
Anyway, we'll put links in for those.
But yeah, they both, at least last year's was fantastic. Well, maple syrup, how is it not fantastic? So yeah, maple syrup is good. And it's I don't know how is that on like the glycemic index or upload index there? It's better than white sugar, is it not?
It is better than white sugar. And because it's a natural substance, you're going to get those added antioxidants in there. And the other thing, in comparison with honey, sometimes we do this, we may substitute sugar for honey or maple syrup to cook with. It's better to cook and bake with maple syrup than it is to do with honey. Honey, you should have it raw and not cook with it because it'll just denature everything. But maple syrup, you can use it as a sweetener. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There was a good little aside.
Yeah.
Perfect. You were going to say nothing else?
No, I was just going to say, what have you been up to?
Right. We together, we've been watching, we've mentioned before Gaia TV, which is like an easy way to describe it is like the spiritual Netflix, in that it's got lots of docu-series about all kinds of spirituality type of topics, or evolution type topics, or about physics and mechanics of the body. There's all kinds of
nutrition,
stuff. Yeah, nutrition,
yoga,
different disciplines,
meditation,
and yoga, Ayurvedic docu-series and stuff. Anyway, the one we're currently watching is called Missing Links, and the host is Greg Braden. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Greg Braden, he does have a background in, I believe it starts from geologist, but then he's expanded into a whole realm of spirituality as well, and you'll have to look him up to get the details about him. Anyway, he's a very interesting person. So this series is basically a lot of discoveries he's made through his life, and piecing them all together to offer up how maybe humans are more than meets the eye, if I say it that way. It's quite an interesting thing. Yeah, so it's a docu-series. They're all like 30-minute episodes.
Did we say the name?
Missing Links. Yes, definitely. Okay. Missing Links. So yeah, if you have Gaia TV, absolutely, I would recommend check it out. If you don't have Gaia TV, you could look into it and check it out. There's all that amazing content, but that one is just one that we're currently going through. I believe there's in total, I think it's listed as 3 seasons, so we're working on season 1. But there's some really interesting facts and some science he's pointing out from different perspectives and different views, which is always refreshing. It's just to look at something in a different way, or to try to understand it from a different way. So yeah,
you can even just, if you just Google Greg Braden, you're going to see you're going to see all the books he's written and kind of what his mission is and what he's talking about. So yeah, he's lovely. It's great, really
accomplished author, I guess, in that, you know, he doesn't have 1 or 2 books, but I think he's got 7 or 8. But anyway, yeah, Tricia's right. A lot of them have a similar theme, and so you kind of figure that out. Anyway, he's cool.
It's really interesting because he does have the science background. My background is science. That's what I went to school for. And so when you marry the two together, because you're always like, how do the two work together? And he has really done that well. And
marrying spirituality
and science,
with science. So the science is more, well, I like it. I think maybe it appeals to us because of holistic health, that holistic lifestyle or outlook that we just live with, in that, like the science would kind of cover body and mind a bit, and then the spirituality is spirituality, but the mind has an aspect in that as well. But anyway, it's interesting.
I just want to say one really cool thing in the show we watched yesterday is that the research that's been done, that they've found nerve cells in the heart, which is can send like emotions and feelings. So sometimes not all happening from the brain, but also happening from the heart. So we can get this brain heart emotion together. I think that was pretty cool.
Can I expand on that?
Sure.
Shall I tell the story from the episode?
If you want to.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So these neurites in the heart are basically talking about how your heart has a memory, or it has can think, basically separate of the brain.
It can think.
It can think, and as a thinking,
like your heart muscle
itself. And this is science, right? These neurites are there, and so there was some initial interest in this, and I forget when this was discovered. It's not like yesterday. It's years ago, right? But some of this stuff 90s. Doesn't always get big press or lasting press. But anyway, so there was proof, I guess, if you want to say it that way. I'll try to tell this story quickly. A young individual had passed away. Another young individual, these are two young females, one passed away, one in need of a heart transplant, which is an operation that is successfully done and has been successfully done for some time. And they choose people of similar age, so the heart is similar in size for the body, moving from one through the other. So anyway, surgery is done, heart moves from patient A to patient B, the new recipient, and the procedure is just fine. But the new young girl is experiencing dreams, and these dreams are not so nice, in that she feels that she's being chased. And so anyway, through seeing a few different doctors, they end up deciding that maybe she should see a psychiatrist. And then when she sees a psychiatrist, this individual seems to feel that there's something more to this. So they do a drawing of this similar individual that arrives in the dream all the time, that chases the young girl, and then the wording that this individual uses as he catches up with the young girl. And then with a little further investigation, anyway, they find out then that there was a murder of a young girl in the community, and the girl who was murdered was the heart donor. So the person receiving the heart was getting messages, we presume, and through the heart, from the memory of the heart, giving her this messaging of being chased, and being what the words may have been spoken by this, what is that? The pursuer, that's the right word. So anyway, the story proceeds. Yes, they investigate this individual, bring him in, and he confesses to having murdered this young girl, which is not nice. But the how the concept of this memory of from individual A into a whole new being transferred, and that came through from the heart then to the mind. And so it was just showing that they're separate, but they're connected in that. And that's the other big part of the episode, is the harmony. Greg uses the word harmony, in harmony of the heart and the mind in there, and how when you get into that state, there's a lot more goodness to come. And we'll see that in the next episode, I guess. I have some ideas on that already, but anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really interesting thing. And then, and then I've still been reading The Quest of Rose, the Future Humans trilogy. Again, it's a slower read because it's very intellectual, but I'll just give you a quick reference from the last chapter. The last key that I read up on, if I find my bookmark in the proper spot, was the darkness, the key of darkness. I'm just going to read you this little paragraph real fast. The key of darkness harmonizes, there's that word again, harmony, harmonizes your whole being to the source harmonics of consciousness, and helps you to access the deeply transformative forces of the unconscious for embracing evolutionary tensions and deepening your self-awareness. Clear as mud, right?
Yeah,
so I'm saying it's a slow read. Anyway, Rose is still continuing to do this, just try to digest what she learned in her near-death experience. So we're just continuing with that. But I know that you've got another new book there. So tell us about that one.
Yeah, this one's called Prakriti. So just a continuation into me diving into Ayurveda a little bit more. And this one goes into quite a bit of detail on the differences between each dosha that I talked about. So yeah, I wanted to give you an example. So we're going to just talk about appetite for a minute. So there's 3 doshas. So either Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, or you can be a combination of those. So when I'm going to talk about appetite, it's probably going to resonate with one of you. One part is going to resonate with you, or there might be a little bit of overlap. So if you're a Vata type, you're always anxious to eat, but your eyes are bigger than your stomach, and you feel full after eating less than what you wanted to. Appetites are variable, so you might have excessive hunger one day, and then you might be followed with disinterest in food the next day. You can become dizzy or faint unless you know that you're, without having those regular meals or snacks. And then don't really do well with fasting, because your body just doesn't have enough, can't really store enough energy to carry you through long periods of time. So on the other hand, Pitta type people, they have really good appetites and really enjoy eating. That's me. I have a really strong appetite. When it's like mealtime, strong, gotta eat, I get really angry, don't I? Always ready to eat, morning, noon, night, midnight, hate to miss meals. You become snippy or irritable if they fail to eat when they're hungry. Their systems are always on the prowl for new energy to consume and manage, and rarely fond of fasting. So I can fast until about 11. If I do a fasting, after that, I need to eat. So, and then the last one, Kapha, they usually pretty stable and usually have a moderate desire for food, and may be prone to emotional eating. You can go an entire day just on water or juice alone without feeling any physical distress, because you naturally store plenty of energy in anticipation of such periods of deprivation. So anyway, that's just one focused on appetite, but there's different things about your skin, your hair, your nails, your mouth, your emotions. So lots that I'm kind of digging in there. But I did start a new routine last week, just a little bit more self-care. So trying to follow Ayurveda a little bit more. And I did quite enjoy it. And I just felt better. I don't know how to explain it. I felt better just doing a little bit more self-care. So I was trying to do some nice deep breathing in the morning. I was trying to set gratitude and intention every day. I was doing dry brushing. I was doing self-massage, like just putting lotion on, basically oil pulling, and doing like a little bit of a yoga practice every day. So yeah, anyway, that's that's that. On the other side of that, I've got, a group of women that are going through my 6-week program. So we started week 2 yesterday, and amazing. First week is about sugar. And I just love this journey for them, because it just usually takes a couple of tweaks to get people kind of in the right quantity for sugar. So, for example, one person was having jubes, and I said, could you switch to like a non-sugar candy? And they were like, yeah, I could do that. So they found like a gummy that didn't have, I forget the name of them, what they're called, but a gummy that doesn't have any sugar in them.
But the same kind of texture.
But the same texture, the same flavor. So we're just reducing that sugar load, but still getting that same, that same desire that you're looking for. And yeah, so it was a fantastic week that way. And then the last thing is in my 10-day reset Facebook group, we finished the reset, but now we're working on consistency. So how to stay consistent with your health habits. And I'd asked everybody in the group last week to really pay attention this week and see what things are sabotaging your consistency. So that's kind of the aim this week, is looking for those saboteurs. Is that a word, saboteurs, or is that a made up word?
Saboteurs is a word.
It's a word. So looking for those saboteurs throughout the week that kind of throws you off. And then, so we're going to look at those as we go through the week and keep going with that. And there's going to be a workshop called Keys to Consistency that's coming up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I was going to say, this past week, we also launched the yoga channel, which was previously 2 separate channels. So classes I recorded, classes Tricia recorded as 2 separate yoga channels. So you had 6, I had 6. So we amalgamated that to make the yoga channel. And then we had one other, a gentle yoga that was in another channel as well. So we've thrown that in there as well. So there's 13 yoga practices in there. And that, we were gonna kind of hold that off till the weekend, but I got things organized there and got it together. So we threw it out as a surprise quicker, that it came about sooner than later. So anyway, that little amalgamation happened. So if you're looking for some yoga, and maybe you've done yoga with Tricia and enjoyed it, you could explore a class or 2 of mine, or vice versa. If you've done some of mine but never tried with Tricia, you could do that. And if you're new to yoga, well, there's opportunity in there to learn as well, with some easier classes and some more challenging classes. Anyway, it's there. You can explore.
What is the cost of the yoga channel?
The yoga channel is $35 for a one month subscription. So all of our online channels are that, other than the membership channel. So yeah, all the individual channels outside of the membership are $35 per month of subscription.
Yeah.
And then the all access pass channel, what should we call that one? That includes all of the other channels. So every video that's there is you get all of them for $111 for a month's long subscription. So you get tons of everything. So anyway, yeah, that was that. So that was fun.
So we have 2 new channels that we've launched in 2022. We've got the beginner channel, and now we've got the yoga channel. So yeah, awesome.
So that's good.
So the other thing that we wanted to mention here, so we
go ahead.
We have a positive case of COVID in our house, and so we are isolating this week. So we'll be here for a while. My mom has gone out to get groceries for us, because grocery day is on Monday, and of course now we can't go out and get groceries. So thank goodness for neighbors and friends and family that can help out. So it was a child of ours, Owen. He's fine. He had a headache. He threw up a couple of times. The next day, he was back to himself. He wanted to go to a friend's, and I said, maybe you should take a test just to make sure. And then the test came back positive, and we were like, no, that's not right. So we took another test, and it was positive. So
yeah, 2 tests, each positive.
And,
and even in that, we had two different types of kits. So we did one from each different kit, because the first one I thought, oh geez, like he got over it so quickly, it didn't make sense. But anyway, the second test says yes. So yeah, essentially in less than 24 hours, he had this whirlwind, and he's fine. Yeah, but for everyone else in the house, right? Everybody else is kind of cautious and But fine.
Yeah.
And well, I'll let you go ahead. Why do we think we're fine? Well, not that we think we're fine. We're not expressing any symptoms, right? And we did, you and I each did a test just out of curiosity, and not so much, nothing. But in light of, I know we got a few things there. We took some extras. Supplementation is what I'm getting at.
It's
just in case.
Yeah, it's in the house. We know it's in the house. So, whether we're going to get it or not, we need to kind of be prepared. And what a better time to really just pump up the immune system and support the immune system as much as possible. Hence the immunity tea that I was drinking earlier. I also have Thieves going in the diffuser. Thieves has a few different kinds of essential oils in it. It's a combination, but they kind of grab the bacteria and viruses in the air and neutralize them. So I've got that going in the diffuser.
Yeah, you can do research on that. Thieves blend essential oil. You can read up on that and find out for yourself.
So the other thing is that we've topped up on vitamin D. So usually I take 2,000 units a day. And so I've taken just a little bit more. I'm going to go up to 4,000 units because vitamin D is good for supporting your immune system.
So we've all taken a little extra vitamin D.
Little extra vitamin C. So this is 1,000 milligrams. So we're taking a few of these a day. Again, really supporting.
Extras, yeah.
And then zinc. So, zinc 25 milligrams a day is what, which is in one capsule. So we're taking that as well. But on top of that, there's a few others that we got in anticipation of this happening. Yeah, so a couple of antioxidants, so quercetin, antioxidant, and also NAC, which is another type of antioxidant, which lots of research papers being done on both of these to say how they can help, especially with this virus. And then a herbal extract, dandelion, good old dandelion root. So this is a tincture, and it is really concentrated dandelion root, which can also help with this virus in particular. Again, research papers done on it. So I've been taking this a few times a day. Doesn't taste good, but
yes.
It's okay.
It's not.
It's like you really it's in for like a second and then that's gone. So yeah, so those are some of the things. We're really going to just focus on resting as well. Or at least I know I am going to focus a little bit on resting. I know I do have a client call scheduled for tonight, but I'm going to cancel it just to, keeping, not that it's a lot of physical work, but it's work just in terms of taxing your stress hormones. So just reschedule. I'm just going to take it easy. So yeah. What about you? You've probably done some energy medicine.
Yeah, I've added, I have daily energy medicine routine that I do every morning, but the last couple of days since, I've been doing extra work with my spleen meridian. Spleen meridian is really tied in with your immune system. So when you keep your spleen meridian really charged up, topped up, obviously that's to the benefit of your immune system. So that one's pretty simple. If you think of reaching like under your armpit, like one hand breadth down, or if you think of like nipple line, roughly, if you just use a bunch of fingers and you can, I usually do both sides at the same time, and you can just thump in there.
This should be our thumbnail on the video.
Anyway, just simply that, but so the tapping there is just stimulating. That's the end point of the meridian, but so what you're doing there is encouraging the energy to flow up from your big toe where it begins up the body to that point. You're just stimulating the movement or the flow to it, bringing more awareness or more energy or more focus or more intention on it. And so in that too, your intention goes a long way as well. Like as you're doing it, if you're thinking positively and lovingly, like we were talking last month for yourself, or positively and lovingly toward the virus itself, if you were exposed to it, like, yeah, okay, friend, come on in and we'll have a party together. We can be good times together. No worries. And have that mindset there as well with that intention and that focus. But the other aspect, I'm going to use this as our.
Why do we want to have that mindset? It's just to reduce our stress response, right?
Why the mindset of which aspect?
Like, come on in and have a party instead of like, oh my goodness.
Oh, well, yeah, because if your interpretation of any situation is that it's stressful, or traumatic or painful, you're going to have a stress response. Now, certainly you're going to have an incident, right? If I smash my hand on the table right now, there's pain, there's a stress response, my body's got to do something. But 2 hours from now, I'm still not reminiscing about how painful my hand might be, versus I'm fearful of something and you ruminate and it's in your head and in your mind and you just continually think about it over and over and over and over and over. With that rumination, you're conditioning the pattern of being in that stress response to that situation. So if we go the opposite way then, and rather than a virus coming in and you're like, oh my God, you're scared, totally scared of it, but you're like, oh, all right, come on in, I'm healthy, I take my supplementation, I exercise, I breathe deeply, I sleep well, I drink water, I move, I'm totally confident that my immune system can handle this, whatever, come on in, and your immune system is going to respond easily to whatever is coming, and then whatever is coming is gonna respond in a fashion to your intention as well. I had a
Sorry,
thought
no,
on
I
that.
did disrupt you.
Anyway, I was going to say more on that. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought. It'll come back. But so I was going to segue from the energy medicine, yes, the intention, but then into the breath, the breathing, coupled with it, which is our theme for the month of February, is the breath, or breathing. So when if you're going to do an energy medicine exercise, or if you feel like, okay, I've been exposed to the virus or a stressful situation or attention, my boss yelled at me or whatever it is, and you need to try to turn your turn your stress response off, because when you're in a stress state, right, your immune system is shunted. Yeah. Its ability to protect you is diminished greatly. And the longer you stay there, not so good. So you want to get out of there sooner than later. Breathing is a massive key for that. If you can breathe calmly, you can subconsciously re-trigger your mind and your body chemistry then to calm down, release, and let a balance return, a homeostasis return. And that can happen through the breathing. So any scenario that is offered a stress response, you can use breathing to reset, if you want to look at it that way, or return to homeostasis. Did you want to add?
Well, I think sometimes our body does that naturally. Like, let's say that we were trying to get somewhere and there ended up being like lots of traffic and we were stuck behind something. Like, I often will just go and let out a sigh, right? And it's just our body does these big breaths naturally in stressful situations, sometimes, usually, but we can also aid our body by doing more of that deep breathing throughout the day.
But if you allow that type of situation to really bother you, you can condition your response to be far worse, right? Like you could have a conditioned response of, you mother, when you're in a traffic jam, and that could be your go-to because you've conditioned that pattern into your system, and wow, that's not so good. So, but using the breathing to have a different response and be like, okay, maybe that person has an emergency that cut me off and they got to get their kid to the emergency room. Yeah. And maybe look at what if, rather than go with look for the good first. Okay, so let's go back then to the breathing, right? Yes. So when you breathe in through your nose, you trigger your parasympathetic system. So two branches of your autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic system and the sympathetic system. Sympathetic system will charge your stress response. It will help fuel that, throw out the right hormones and chemicals so you can run or fight or flight or whatever is needed. Parasympathetic system is going to bring back more towards the homeostasis balance to help to filter out the cortisol and those adrenaline and things that are there, and trigger the other hormones that'll bring back more of a balance. So if you're in comparison to the nose breathing, then if you had to take off running really fast, you get into this breathing through the mouth, the shorter, shallower breath to help you get going, and you're just firing that oxygen fast to help feed the need in the moment. But when you slow the breath down, a key is to slow it. If you can, deeper is better, because then you're maximizing the volume of the lung exchange. But yes, if you breathe in through the nose slowly, those two right there, that's going to help you to cue the parasympathetic system. So your stress response now is going to be addressed by your breathing. So yeah, if you're doing energy medicine, you can slow your breathing down. If you're having an issue with a challenge, you can slow your breathing down and take it in through the nose. You want to add?
I just wanted to add two more things about the benefits of taking air in through your nose. Is one is that our nose is equipped with all of these little hairs and cilia to help trap any of the dust and particles. So it's acting as our kind of our first line of defense. Yeah. So that is one reason why you also want to breathe through your nose. And the second one is that it warms the air. So it warms the air coming through. It has time in your nasal passage before it gets to your lungs, which is less energy expenditure for your body as well.
Yeah, so those benefits. So yeah, and then you probably hear terms like belly breathing and those things. Ideally, yes, if you're breathing in through the nose, you'd prefer to notice that you're breathing in that. I like to envision that or look at that or understand that as breathing from the bottom of your lobe of your lung through the middle to the top of your lung. And when you breathe slowly into the bottom of your lung first, you're going to notice your belly expanding or protruding first, because you could still breathe. If you try, you could breathe in through your nose shallowly up in the top of your lung. Yeah. But that's why I say, if you take it slow and then focus on deep, in deep meaning getting as much volume of breath in that you can, you're filling the lungs even more. So anyway, that process of breathing that way is get you into that state. And as Tricia used that response of like a sigh. So if you're in a stressful state, you could purposely like use that audible, like let it go. Use that mentally and physically to let it go. And sometimes the power of your mind is so amazing, right? You can visualize whatever it was, the boss yelling at me. There goes the boss's comments right out of you, gone with the breath. But anyway, slow the breathing down in through the nose if you can, and you're going to come back more into parasympathetic state, calm state, rest and rejuvenate state as a place to be. So we'll offer some other different breathing techniques as we go through the month. There's all kinds, and we'll get into reasonings and behind that. But that's the simplest one, is just slow in through the nose breaths.
So it's easy for us to sit here and preach that. Do it. Just do the breathing, right? But it's harder to make those things into habits, because we do have to remind ourselves, oh my gosh, I didn't take a big breath today. Like, it can happen. Absolutely, it can happen. So, think about your day and think about times when you can incorporate that deep breathing. If you make yourself a meal, do you put the plate of food in front of you and take time to just maybe give thanks for the food and take a big breath in? So many, take a big breath in for the things that we just talked about, but also smelling that food is going to trigger those digestive enzymes to get going, to work to digest the food. So you've got your plate of food. Maybe that could be the habit that you start every day. I know, as I said, starting to get into more of this Ayurveda practice for myself. When the alarm goes off and I turn it off, I start with two big breaths in and out. Got one for gratitude, one for intention. And then I get out of bed and I do a big breath in, stretch up, bend over like a forward fold, exhale, and another big breath in, and then exhale, forward fold. So how long does that take? It's 4 breaths. But it's those times during the day that I'm incorporating that breath work. It could be when you go outside to go for a walk. Maybe that's when you, instead of going like power, maybe you're like, I'm going to see if I can get those nice big breaths in. So just think about it, be mindful about your day, your week, and just think, when can I start, tagging on those breaths?
I think we maybe referred to that in the past as stacking.
Yeah, stacking.
Yeah, habits. Like if you've got a habit already or something that you're doing, add it on, or can it be done with it? Like your exercise. Maybe if you got an exercise routine and your last exercise, maybe your new routine is 1, 2, 3 breaths to finish the workout. That'll help reset your system from the stress of the workout as well. Or like Tricia said, with your walk, or maybe when you brush your teeth, when you're done, you clean and rinse your mouth out and you take one deep breath before you move on. Like, it's literally seconds. But again, conditioning and practicing Or put a reminder. I think we
Yeah,
talked about that. Reminders on
reminders.
your phone, an
Yeah.
alarm on your phone.
Take a
that
deep
ding,
breath.
ding, ding, ding. 12
Yeah.
o'clock's like, I haven't done this all day. Oh yeah, take a couple of deep breaths and just cue you to
Mhm.
remind you to do it. So
Mhm.
that's a really good point. Yeah, we can tell you all about it, but if you don't do it, you're not going to get the benefit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
take a couple of deep breaths. Ready? Let's
Yeah.
do one. All right, good place to end. Cheers. I'm out, but we'll
Cheers.
see you back next week. Take
Yes.
care. All the best,
Take
and
care.
enjoy your week. We'll see you next week with a few more tips on breathing.
And I will ask,
Oh,
for those of you out there. No, I'm just going to ask if you want to send some prayers our way for our family in our isolation, then yeah, we'll take them for sure.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
All right, take care.